Okay, so good evening, everyone. This is the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission on December 20th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. To all persons deemed interested or affected by the town of Barnstable's Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission ordinance under Chapter 112, Article 3 of the Code of the Town of Barnstable, you are hereby notified that a hearing is being held at Town Hall 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass. Selectmen's Conference Room, second floor, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. This meeting of November 15th? December 20th. No, don't worry about it. This meeting of December 20th is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20, the Chair must inquire as to whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known. And also to please silence your cell phones. I think I did mine. Yes. Last week I did that, and then I couldn't find it when I got home. Anyway. I found it in my briefcase. Anyway, call to order. So, Commissioner Matthews.
Here.
Commissioner Carley.
Here.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham is absent tonight. Commissioner Matthew Clark.
Here.
Commissioner Laura Cronin.
Here.
Commissioner Tom Doherty is unable to make it tonight. Commissioner Vice Chair Jack Kay.
Here.
And myself, Chair Cheryl Powell, is also here. We do have a quorum tonight. So it is called to order, and we've done our roll call. So welcome to everybody who's here on this day in December before Christmas. There's nothing with regard to trainings for tonight. I hope everyone's done their up-to-date conflict of interest. Nothing on awards. We have no correspondence beyond the one for the continued, correct? And I'll keep that for the next one. So what we have is a continuance with Mr. Wayne Kirker, 77 Pleasant Street, Hyannis, map 327, parcel 118. This is with regard to an egress and stairs. Welcome, Wayne, and thank you for coming back to us.
Well,
You've signed in, you know the routine.
Yes.
You want me to give you more time for your coloring?
I realized I colored the same thing in two different colors and figured I should straighten that out. So I'm Wayne Kirker from 77 Pleasant Street Realty Trust, and we've moved that historic house out of the hole and up the hill, and it's on a foundation, and we mounted the trim, and we stopped there because during construction, the contractor went and built a small set of stairs to make his life easier than rather than have a ladder, and we realized how much better it worked than our actual design. So we submitted to you this picture that shows that that green. Well, let me just pass these out. I just did them over again. Maybe pass it down. Yeah.
Oh, they're all the same way? Okay.
Yeah, they are. And so,
But I got it here.
on that application I sent in, you'll see the orange set of stairs, that, one long staircase, and what's especially unsightly about it is that it extends beyond the house by, I think it was 11 feet or so, and maybe 9 feet. But in any case, quite a ways, and it was not good looking. And so on page 2 of that application in a dark green, you'll see how we propose to build the staircase now. And I just passed out a thing. I tried to recolor it in green.
It's all right. I think we can
yeah.
all tell, can we not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the upper right, that's the front view from the street. So, and that staircase, even though this staircase was not very visible to people out in the street, it was terrible function-wise, and also gave people a set of second means of egress without using an emergency window. It allows us it's quite a big improvement. So the reason I brought this separate page in tonight, it shows it, with the foundation colored, with the, when we're obviously weren't going to really have just a blank concrete foundation on the house. So this is the closest thing right now to how it'll really look. And if, for those of you that may have driven down Pleasant Street, the trim on it, you'll see that we did everything we promised. That trim came out looking like a real nice rejuvenation of a historic house. And we won't stop until everything looks as good as it can be made, to look. Now, the one thing that caught my eye, and I mentioned it on the application, and I'm not looking to change it necessarily, but the chimney looks high, but we measured it exactly to the other chimney. We took pictures, and we did measurements and the whole bit. It's exactly correct. But to me, it looked high, and I thought I'd mention it. If it's okay with everybody, it'll stay like it is. And if you folks thought, because maybe now that it's up in the air, it looks high, because it didn't when it was down in the hole. But if it looks
Wayne,
okay...
do you have a picture of that, like a
I
drawing
do.
of that?
Yeah, and I turned that in. That's in our file here somewhere. I sent in to planning,
I think it was in there,
the
wasn't it?
dimension photos and everything. So that's not just a guess.
I don't think it looks that high.
Good. Well, thank you.
I mean, it looks like it did.
Yeah, well, it struck
see
me
it
at
in the
first.
stuff here,
Maybe
but-
I'm just too close to it, and now it's looking like it belongs, months later.
Let me ask Karen, because I don't see it on the email that was sent, like the chimney.
Pictures.
Okay.
What he was just discussing.
Yeah.
I meant earlier on when I made this.
Are you talking when you came back to us before?
Oh, gotcha.
Chimney.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
To give a brief history of this, are you okay with my doing that, Wayne?
What's that?
You're okay with me giving a brief history?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So Wayne came before us, I can't remember the exact date, but the first time was about before anyone else except for me was on this commission. And so I'm the only one that was from that time. And he wanted to move this property. And we made an agreement that he could move this property, and correct me if I'm wrong on anything, provided with certain conditions. One of those conditions was that he retained the, not only the chimney, but if somehow when he moved the property that it fell into matchsticks, that he had to rebuild it as a replica. And he worked with us on that. And he agreed to it. Then he came back later with regard to the chimney with a structural report. And I think a lot of the people here were here for that part. Jack, I think you were here for that part. I'm not sure if the others were. But with no disrespect, and the structural engineer said that could not be kept. And we agreed to it because he was working with us to try to do everything he could, and it was obvious that he was trying very hard to maintain the requirements. So he's come back to us again with regard to the stairs, and I very much appreciate that he works with us on trying to, keep within the boundaries and to respect that we have to do our best to try to keep the historical character, and not just he could have probably have just had that staircase as it was, and we wouldn't have noticed. But I do respect that he came back to us, and I thank you for that. So that's the history. Jack, is there anything else that I've missed on that?
No, I don't think so.
So that's why he's coming back, because of the staircase. And the chimney, I take it that's the false chimney is the same size?
It is. It's exactly the same size to the inch.
Okay. I remember it was pretty high.
And the width and the length, the same, precisely
Trust
the
you on
same.
that. Okay. So, anything else you wanted to state?
No, that's really it.
So I'm going to open it up to commissioners. Are there any questions on the presentation?
No, I have none.
No.
I have none.
You're the only one who hasn't spoken, Commissioner Clark. Anything on that? Nope. Nope.
I would have spoken if I had
All
something
right,
to,
that's fine, thank you. I just didn't want to forget you. Okay, well, in that case, I'll open it up to public comment and leave it open, but seeing as we don't, I have to do that. And one of these days, you guys are going to trip me, I'll open up to public comment, nobody's in here, and 10 people are going to pour through that door. But I don't think so tonight, I hear no pitter-patter of feet. So, let's go, leave it open until we go to motions, and let's also see if there's any discussion on that. And can somebody hand me a copy of the motions, please? I have it in my file, but it's, thank you. So I don't have to spend more time going to. All right, so, discussion, how do you feel about it?
Looks great.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I think the revision is much better as well, from a
Thank you.
aesthetic standpoint as well.
It looks like
Especially-
a ski slope.
Especially when you talk about how you're using that landing as another emergency exit for that floor. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I also like it. I think everybody's voiced their opinion, so I'm going to close public comment, and I'm going to ask if one of the commissioners would like to make a motion on the findings, please.
Sure. I move that the commission find this application to be compatible with preservation and protection of the district.
I'll second that.
Thank you, and just to clarify, that is with regard to 77 Pleasant Street, Hyannis, map 57, parcel 118, and it's seconded. Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin?
Aye.
Commissioner Crowley?
Aye.
I also say aye. Would one of the commissioners like to make a motion on a certificate of appropriateness?
I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the application at 77 Pleasant Street, Hyannis, Mass. 02601, as described in the submitted materials.
Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kay. Commissioner Crowley?
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you for working with us on it. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
And also, I want to extend a personal apology that you could not be heard at our last meeting. I've been on this for like 8 years, and it's the first meeting I actually missed, and it's because my dog had to have emergency surgery, so I apologize for that. I have explained that to you, but I just wanted to explain why that was. So, you have your certificate of appropriateness.
Thank you very much. You'll see a beautiful structure soon, I hope. Every time there's a holdup, you push back one contractor who pushes back the next one, and the next one, the next one. But I think now it's just a go. So, thank you.
Welcome to Cape Cod. And thank you again for coming back to us.
Thank you,
a second
Wayne.
time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So our next is under new business, and that is Verizon New England, Inc., 49 Ocean Street, Hyannis, map 326, parcel 025, and it's with regard to a fence. I am going to read a letter. Have a good evening, drive safely. Read an email that was sent. Dear Karen, planning, during the recent site plan review, our application was continued requiring additional supporting documentation. We are researching this request and expect to resubmit the additional information as soon as possible to the Site Plan Review Board. Considering this open issue, I respectfully request that our hearing application, application, currently scheduled for 12/20/2023 be postponed until the site plan review has been resolved. At this time, we wish to continue this matter to January 17th, 2024, the HHDC meeting. Please feel free to contact me with any clarifications or concerns. Thank you, Bob. So, would a commissioner like to make a motion that we continue this? Is there a
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Matthews. Commissioner Crowley?
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
I also say aye. So that will be continued to the January 17th, 2024 meeting. Okay. There are no matters. Well, actually, there is one matter not reasonably anticipated, didn't make the agenda, and that is Jim, would you like to bring us up to speed on the Joint Planning Board and HHDC meeting, please?
Sure. So at the last joint meeting of the Planning Board and the Historic Commission, it was a vote. It was a split vote. The Planning Board did adopt revised design guidelines. And this commission, it was a 3-2 vote. There's 4 votes in the affirmative is required to adopt. So in speaking with the chair the next day, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I believe Ms. Powell asked for some dates for reconvening on the matter. So the thought is if the commission does so choose to take the matter up again, we will need to renotice as we did for the last one. It needs to be at least 14 days in advance. And with the holidays and all that, it likely would be the earliest, late January or early February. So if the commission does want to reconvene and discuss the matter further, I'm open to any of those dates that may be suitable for you all. Just looking at the dates, it looks like you all meet on January 17th and February 7th. And I believe that Monday before February 7th is open as well.
What's the date of that?
That would be a Monday.
The 5th.
Yeah, the 5th appears to be open. I would have to just confirm with communications and make sure the room is available and all that stuff.
I'm sorry, Jim, would this be, again, a joint meeting with the Planning Commission? They've already
Not at
approved?
this time. The Planning Board has adopted
Planning Board,
design guidelines. However, in speaking with the chair there, he's certainly open to a future joint meeting if you guys discuss this matter and it changes the design guidelines further. He's certainly, he's certainly open to another joint meeting in the future.
The reason we did this is because frequently we came into a situation where we would have an applicant with no names or any indication that would come and figure, well, okay, I always go to appeals and it goes to planning, because the guidelines were different and they could slip things. Well, I shouldn't say slip things. They felt that they had a better opportunity to get things through under different guidelines. So we wanted to adopt uniform guidelines that we could all use to help. So we're all on the same page, as opposed to opposing each other. It's a little bit, you remember I'm a mental health practitioner, so it's a little bit like a child who, well, daddy's not going to give me this, so I'm going to go to mommy. Or mommy said no, so I'm going to go to daddy. And we need to get rid of that, or we should get rid of that option. We should have uniform to where we're all on the same page, in my opinion. So the HHDC started this proposal about 6 years ago. And about a year ago, we came up with a small commission that went out to do this walkabout and all this kind of stuff. And then the proposals went forward. And Jack, you were on that. Tom Doherty was on it, and I was on that. And Matt, you very kindly offered your services as well, but we had to avoid quorum on it because we couldn't do that. And I think your input would have been very valuable. We still need to address what we're going to do so that we close that, or at least try to address that loophole. So if we meet and try to go over what it is and what there were very few stumbling blocks. And I think one of the stumbling blocks was the 100-foot length. And I think one of my proposals was up to 100 feet, which still gave us some control and still kept us within guidelines. But if we go over that again as a commission and see if we can come up with something that helps to bring us closer so that we don't leave the option, well, let's forget that the HHDC is a formality we have to go to and then we can go to somebody else, so that we actually have it tightened a bit. I think that would be good. I can't read without my glasses. Future joint meeting, one of the suggestions was, and actually the planning board has already approved this, that they will meet with the HHDC, and correct me if I'm wrong, at least on a yearly basis, if not on a more needed basis, so that we could make sure that we keep things in unison so that we're working together for the town and for the community. So I
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
I don't know, Matt, if you're still if you still want to do the walk around or something like that, but if one of you who was in the prior walk around wanted to do it again for anybody who wanted to go and wasn't on the last time before
Absolutely.
we meet this next time, I'd love to do that again. And I
Why
know you
don't
got
we
to be
all
careful
do
of quorum, but if
Okay.
one of you would like to do that, either you or Jack or Cheryl or Tom, and maybe take another couple of us who want to go or something like that, I would be more than willing to do that to see everyone else's side. You know, I have my opinions and my thoughts, but I'd like to hear their sides and see what they're talking about. So I would be in if anybody would like to do that.
That's an excellent idea.
I'd do it.
Actually, yeah. Can I ask Jim? Can we do that as an entire commission and just schedule it so that it's not violating? I mean, it would be quorum.
Right, so
It'd
you
just
would have
be
to
a-
post it as a meeting, essentially.
2 weeks ahead.
What I could recommend is maybe 2 at a time. I'm happy to walk, 2 at a time of the members around. And
That's great.
This throughout the week, we'll set up some times for maybe 2 members and myself walking the district.
Actually, that's an excellent idea. If you're happy to do that, Jim.
Oh, absolutely.
I just think it would be helpful for those who didn't go on that initial meeting.
Yeah.
That right now we're thinking of what we see in our head, but I want to see if I can see it, and then I might have a different understanding than what
Yeah.
I do now. And I'm more than willing to open up my mind to see, if I'm thinking a different way once I actually get my feet in the game, so to speak.
I think that's an excellent idea.
I know it might be cold. I will bundle.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I've done this in the summer.
Yeah, well, what do you want?
I will supply the hand warmers for the pockets.
So we could certainly, Karen and I could certainly put out maybe a poll to see when people are available, and maybe
I would love to
sign
do
up.
that.
Can I leave that to you?
Sounds good.
Laura, you were not on it. Kevin, you weren't, but you weren't a member yet. And actually, Laura, you weren't a member yet.
I was
were
a
you
member.
just barely a member?
But I wasn't on there.
And
so-
Kevin, you had just started, it was like your second or third meeting, I think. And I know you didn't go, and you very kindly offered. So I think you'd be valuable to go on that as well, if you're happy to.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be great.
So, Jim, can I get you, Tom did go. If I could get you to coordinate that and then coordinate a time so that we can
Yep.
bring it here. And then if you can also work on the comments that are made to accommodate what the problems were with regard to the last draft that we have.
Sure.
That sounds like a plan on how we can come up with something that really might work.
I agree. And I agree with you in your thought process, because if we've gone through, again, I'm coming in late, but if the whole committee has gone through this for about a year and we can't get rules and regulations that match, well, then what's this all been for? It's, I mean, uniform guidelines is what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
It
agree with
doesn't
you. I
make
think-
sense to have
Yeah, no,
two
it doesn't.
sets of guidelines. We have to come up with something.
Yeah.
And actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, I believe that the planning board, because we have agreed to make amendments as needed, we can always submit the differences that we have on the guidelines we accepted for them to adopt, and we can go back and forth that way. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely.
That's good.
So it's a building process. But the whole thing is, we then get to the end result, I hope, where we're supporting everything. So we don't have this, well, let's go for the meeting we have, they'll reject it, we'll go forth, and we can ignore them.
Go the other way. Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
I do have a question
Yes.
for Jim. So Tom, I felt like Tom made it really clear what his issues were. There was one member of the planning board, I believe, that voted everything down, but didn't give any reasoning on, I mean, do we have a sense of if he had similar concerns or what his issues were? Did he just keep it all to himself?
Yeah, I haven't had a conversation with him yet. I'm hoping to have a conversation with him soon. Yeah.
I think that's the answer to that. That's been brought to my attention as well. And he could have had completely different, we don't know what his reasons were. So
Yeah.
if Jim could explore that, and then maybe we can have 100% on both boards on whatever we come up with. Does that sound like a hope?
Yeah, again, this is exciting. I'm excited to be a part of that part of it, of walking the area and seeing it with my own eyes. So that's great. I appreciate your You're stepping up.
Of course.
And I apologize, we got to do it in the summer, and you're
Yeah,
going
it's okay.
to take a coat, I'll supply
Hey,
hand.
listen, the Patriots aren't in the playoffs anyway. You can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay, so that's that. Jim, you're going to coordinate that, right?
I will.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Nope.
Okay.
All set.
So,
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Sure, absolutely.
Under this, not reasonably anticipated. With regard to a previous project that was done, I think on Pleasant Street, the Patriot Press building is in the historic building, and that was part of, I believe, to be renovated and restored, and it's falling apart if you look at the roof.
can I get you to submit that? Because we really shouldn't talk about past applicants.
Well, it didn't get approved through here, though, did it?
Yeah, but we still shouldn't discuss them
I
when
believe
they're
that
not
was a
here.
regulatory agreement.
Yeah, it was a regulatory grant. That's why I didn't think it was something that we had discussed, so. I'm
It's
sorry.
just, it's not fair to discuss an applicant without them being able to be present. So if you can submit that to Jim.
Maybe what I would ask is there something that we could request from the planning department to maybe bring it forward? Because we wouldn't ask them if they're not before us, but it would be something maybe the planning board could ask?
Are you seeking like an update or?
Yeah, an
Okay.
update on that project.
I can make the request.
And in that particular would be that building is a historic building.
Okay.
Thank you.
I didn't want to shoot you down, it's just, I want to keep it
Nope, I got it.
clean with regard to applicants. Is there anything else? Okay. Okay, so, November 15th minutes.
I move that we accept those minutes.
Second?
Okay, so Commissioner Carley,
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin,
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay.
I wasn't here for that.
You weren't? Thank you. Were you here, Neil?
That's a good question.
That was going to be my question. I was leaving it till the end.
You were there.
As long as you read them, you can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't thought you had to be
All right,
there.
so I will also say aye.
Are you abstaining, Ted?
He knows he
I did
wasn't
read
there.
them, but I wasn't present.
Oh, okay, well, if you approve it, it's okay if you recognize.
Okay. And you saw the tape? You saw the tape? That's great. Okay, approval of the November 27th meeting for people who have either seen the tape, been there, or whatever. Is there a motion to accept?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Commissioner Carley? Commissioner Cronin?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark? Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
I also say aye. All right, next HHDC meeting is January 3rd, 2024. Before we adjourn, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Won't see you till next year.
Do you?
Same to you.
Adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
By Commissioner Matthews. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Kay?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin?
Aye.
Commissioner Crowley?
Aye.
I also say aye. We are adjourned.
Thank